Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen. Welcome back to Sales Funnel Radio. Today I want to teach you guys how to play this whole game in the e-com space.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up, guys? Today, I actually am very excited to walk through an actual case study of something that we just did. Now, one of the biggest reasons people don't move forward in anything they do is that they feel that they are unqualified for what they're being taught, right? Meaning that is awesome, that works for them, but it does not work for me. And it is one of the most, I believe, I believe that has killed more dreams than almost anything else. Besides doubt itself, if someone's like, no, I can't do these things, and they start moving forward. Besides doubt itself, people thinking that what they're learning doesn't actually apply to them, that is, I believe it's one of the biggest things that actually causes people to not move forward in their lives and not actually get what they want. Okay, now where's this coming from? This is coming from a little bit of a source of like a, I don't know. I've just had so many people say things like, Steven, you're in the info product space, therefore it can't work for me because I'm selling e-com, right? Or whatever. And I'm like, you're in one of the coolest places ever, right? There's a lot of, now, anyway. So we just barely launched this thing called Capitalism Swag, right? And what I thought I would do is show you guys the aftermath of that. So what I actually did is I screenshotted over my computer, screenshotted the stats of when we released Capitalism Swag. And I want to teach you what happened, but what happened because I know funnels, okay? And yes, because it works for you as well. And it doesn't, like, I'm following marketing and sales principles, guys. I'm not following funnel principles, okay? The marketing and sales principles tell me what to do beyond what is the model, what is the, right? And so I'm just following these marketing and sales principles. That's why it doesn't matter what you sell. It has nothing to do with that, right? I'm selling to a 100,000-year-old brain. And unless you're that one person out of 100,000 that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway. I mean, the billions and trillions that have been on this planet. Like, if you found a way to negate, right, the human brain, then this, you know, it's for you. It's for you. So anyways, I just want to walk through and share with you guys this case study. And this is for the Capitalism Swag funnel. And yes, it works for you, and it works if you're in retail, and it works if you're in B2B and you're multi-stage sales that are really high ticket. Okay. Now, where you collect the cash, obviously maybe not on the internet, right? Where you get, right, those types of things, those are mechanics. But I want you to understand marketing and sales from this podcast at a deeper level, okay, than just how do you sell it if you're just in this scenario, okay? So anyway, I love selling information for a lot of reasons, but I'm going to walk you guys through. So I actually screenshotted my stats, okay? And I'm going to walk through this a little bit here. There's one thing that was wrong on the stats, and it's not because of ClickFunnels. It's because we were selling one other piece that we led people to in a different funnel, okay? But anyway, so this is it, okay? Now, I'm going to hold up, and if you guys are not on YouTube right now, it might be advantageous for you guys to listen to it on this one. All right, go to salesfunnelradio.tv. It'll take you straight there to the YouTube channel, salesfunnelradio.tv. Anyway, so if you look this, check this out here real quick. This is the stats dashboard. I just took a screenshot of it, and we had it was open for about 5 days. So I took it from about a week because there was a few follow-up sales that happened past cart close because we had seen but not purchased email sequences because it's no different. I still do it anyway. The product really doesn't matter, like nearly as much as people think it does. Anyway, I'll stop pounding that point. It just pisses me off. So anyway, because everyone can do so much more if they're just like, okay, it is for me. And then they actually start executing. Anyway, all right, so you can see in here, this is July 17th, right through July 24th, 2019. So this is literally, as I'm recording this, about a week ago that this whole thing ended up. And I put that between those two dates here. Now here's the actual funnel. Let me draw it real quick so you guys can see this. And there's a few very key principles I want to share with you guys on this. I thought it'd be cool for you to see like me doing the thing. So I thought this would be kind of a neat episode, a little case study here. Let me see how far over I can draw. Okay, here we go. Okay, so on the very first page, very first page, we gave the option for them to buy, right, a certain quantity of these Capitalist Pig t-shirts, okay? And right now, the reason Colton is not sitting over here is because he's picking up from the t-shirt printing company and he's dropping them off at our fulfillment company. That's why he's not here right now. And I was like, you know what? I might as well make an episode while he's gone, right? This is what we're doing, right? Anyway, so we have, so this is Capitalism Swag, Cap Swag. And by the way, you can go to capitalismswag.com and sign up for the notification list if you guys want to jump on the next one. The whole goal of Capitalism Swag is to make rather jarring t-shirts so that they say the message so that you don't have to, right? Anyway, so we have the store, the first page here. And the t-shirt itself was $32. It was a $32 t-shirt. Not cheap, but not crazy expensive either, right, for a t-shirt. I mean, this t-shirt's worth way more than that. But anyway... But it's towards the upper range. It would be really weird to sell discount Capitalist Pig t-shirts. Right? That would be against the actual message. Anyway, so we give them a quantity, right? And we gave them, there was male fit, there was female fit. They could buy as many as they wanted. I think it was actually 1 through 5 on any sizing. So there's a quantity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there was, men's and women's size they could check as well. And then on there also, you guys, it's so dumb to not have a bump, right? And so knowing that and knowing some of the numbers that I've seen from this stuff, right, we decided to add a $19 bump, which was the hat, right? And it's not this hat. He's going to picking them up. Maybe I should have waited to put it on so you guys can see it. Anyway, but it's $19, which is very comparable for a hat, right? Anyway, let me just draw the funnel, then I'll tell you guys some stats and some numbers from this as we move forward here. The next page here, so that was the bump. Right, the next page here was like, hey, while you're at it, do you want it's a $69 hoodie? A little bit more of an expensive hoodie. Super nice one though. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's incredible. Right, so there's a hoodie here. And it was like, hey, it'll choose whatever size you chose on the last page. That's the size it'll choose on this one, right? So anyway, the $69 hoodie. And then what we did is we added, I was like, you know what? I'm remembering back to the days of when we launched the Expert Secrets book. And what's cool about the Expert Secrets book funnel, I remember a very powerful lesson when we built that. I was observing like crazy. I'm very observant. That's one of my superpowers. And I was observant watching what Russell was doing. And a lot of times with a book or something physical or swag or whatever it might be, the first few steps in the funnel are physical because the perceived value is extremely high. But the cost of goods is also high. Right? I gotta pay for it, I gotta print it, I gotta put it in a box, I gotta ship it, and if I'm not the one doing it, my costs go up, right? Which I'm not gonna be the one doing that, right? So anyway, so it's super high, but then as we move down the funnel, I remember in the Expert Secrets book funnel, the upsells got more digital, right? What's the cost to fulfill something that is, digital? Nothing, right? It doesn't cost me anything to fulfill on that, but I also have to sell it harder, right? Well, we know that the second yes is always easier than the first yes, so might as well add anything that I'm selling physical. Why not have a digital something, right, down the road? And so I was like, well, what can we put in there that would be digital? And funny enough, we had this thing called OfferMind Masterclass, which when they buy it includes a ticket to OfferMind. They're basically buying a ticket for $297, but they are getting this thing called OfferMind Masterclass with it as well, okay? So it's OfferMind Masterclass for $297. And I'll run through some numbers here in a moment. And then we had on this thank you page, it was actually a thank you page webinar, okay? So it was a thank you page webinar, and it was a product. This product I have, it was a special deal we're giving them. It's a $3,000 product, but we're giving them for 50% off if they came through this as a thank you, okay? It's just called My Funnel Stash, and it's a thank you page webinar. Okay, now this is really key as we move forward here in a little bit. And this is the reason why, like if they clicked buy on this, the actual order page and the fulfillment and all that was actually in a different funnel, which is why it's not part of the stats dashboard, but we had sales directly from this funnel for these. So anyway, so we had, now what I'm gonna do real fast is I'm just gonna use another marker to go through this, and let me kind of zoom this up here a little bit so you guys can see it a little better. I wanna walk through some numbers. And the reason I'm gonna walk through it here, actually I'll get to it in a moment. So we had 1,700 unique people come and see, 1,751 come and see this page, right? Of the 1,751 people who saw this first page right here, okay, we had 121 purchases. Okay, so 121 people bought this one. Okay, moving down the funnel, we had 121 people bought a shirt, but on top of that, we also had I think it was 12 people. It was about 10%. I think it was 12. I forgot to click the down button and see. But anyway, 12 people actually bought the hat, which was awesome. Then, okay, we had the 12 people buy that. Over here on the sweatshirt, we had 20 people buy the sweatshirt. And then we had 12 people buy Offermind Masterclass. Okay, so it's not bad because this is a 10% conversion rate. This is a 15% conversion rate. Right, and this is a 6.9% conversion rate of the people coming on in. Which, I mean, it's not like incredible, but it also was a screaming success. Okay, I was launching this to a hot list. We didn't spend any ad money. Why? I'll tell you why as we move forward here. Okay, but we also had 2 people coming by this. Okay, now that's not a lot, right? But the price tag is high. And what's interesting is what happens right here. Okay, so check this out. So of this entire thing right here, if we look on this stats dashboard right here real quick, right? We had $10,700 come through just on the shirts, not including that last thank you page webinar. But I want to show you guys what happened though. Okay, so we had 2 sales, which is another $3,000. So our actual gross amount of revenue from this funnel, let me just draw here. So the overall revenue, right, was $13,786.95. Okay. Now that's the reason that's such a big deal and this is such a big success is because there was only 121 buyers. I mean, it's of the opening cart buyers, right? So 121. So what that means is the average cart value, which is crazy. So 13,000 divided by the 121 buyers that came in, right? Is instead of it being $89 cart value, which is still awesome for a $32 shirt, okay, it's like them buying 3 of everything. Instead, it was actually $113. Okay, and the biggest thing I want you to know right now is that I'm not sharing this with you guys so you're like, oh, this is how we got us. No. Right? This is smart marketing, right? If I'm allowed to say that about myself. Okay, what this is using is the marketing and sales principles of funnels to sell anything. I was like, you know what? And if I didn't have something else right here that was selling that was digital or something else that was selling digital or something that was, like, the whole point of this funnel was to help people gain more awareness and go purchase Offermind tickets. That's why everything after this goes into Offermind. Everything after this, Offermind. It's a front end for Offermind. That's why we created Capitalism Swag. It's also to go help people create messages, right, on their chest that says, hey, I believe and don't believe this or whatever. All right? But as a business, it's a front end for Offermind. That's why we created the whole thing. Now, why is this such a huge deal is because instead of it being, like I said, $89, it was like everyone bought an additional t-shirt even though only 2 people bought that last thing. Okay, so think about this for a second. This is $113 average cart value with no ads. It was just hot list shot and it was only open for like 5 days. Okay. We had seen but not purchased sequences. So if they saw this but didn't buy, we had like 2 or 3 emails that reminded them. We had a number of people come buy that. We had seen but not purchases that came in, hey, I see you didn't get this. We had a number of people that came and bought that. And of the 121, right, it actually gave a substantial boost back to the revenue by having a seen but not purchased sequence. We had a substantial revenue boost by having a few digital things in the back that were very valuable, right? Does that make sense? We had a substantial revenue boost by having 12 people buy another $20 thing of the 121 t-shirt buyers. And like, these are all powerful principles. The one thing that would have dramatically helped, actually, I think we did do this. If they didn't click on yes here, there's a downsell. Okay, a downsell actually sold them on Offermind Masterclass here. A 2-pay option for I think an extra $30, $40, $50, something like that, if they took the 2-pay option. And anyway, that would be the only other thing that would be powerful here. downsell either on this guy or on this guy. Anyway. But what's powerful is like, now you go see, like I had a chance to go consult with a clothing company recently. And that's one of the principles that I was going through with it is how can you increase the average cart value of those who are already buying, those who are already in motion of purchasing? How can you increase the average cart value? You know what happens when you give people the option to spend more money? They spend more money, right? So instead of us only being able to spend $32 on ads, right? Now I have costs of goods and I have all that stuff as well. So let's, it's not that full amount, okay? But it is a significant amount of cash more that I can spend on ads. $113 I can spend to acquire a single customer. That's crazy. Now you tell me another t-shirt company that has the ability to do that kind of stuff. There's not many out there. That's why I wanted to share this with you guys. If you go back through, like a lot of times, if you already have a funnel that's up right now, and this is the purpose of the whole show, of today's episode, okay? Two things. If you already have a funnel that's up and running right now, instead of going and trying to build another funnel afterwards, which I'm not saying to not do, but what I'm saying is go back to the initial funnel and look to see where the obvious places are for upsells and downsells where you're just not asking. Right? This is a webinar. I put a webinar on the back of an e-com funnel? Heck yeah, son, because it doesn't matter. And the rules are more blurry than we tend to make them. Oh, that's an info product practice. Nah, you sure? All right, you sure? Anyway, okay, so if you already have a funnel up, I challenge you to go in and say, number one, where can I grab more cash off the table? Right, cash off table. If you're in the second scenario where you don't have a funnel up yet, number one, I encourage you just to get something out there, okay? Solve a problem, make something of value, make something in the marketplace that's of value. Just put something up, all right? And start so that you actually have data to start tweaking stuff. And that alone right there will start dropping false beliefs more than you trying to plan the crap out of it. Stop. Just get it up, okay? Get it out the door, okay? If you're in the second scenario, though, if you're in scenario number two, what I want you to do is when you're thinking about the funnel, very simply ask yourself the question, how can I increase the average cart value? Okay, how can I increase the average cart value? Now, I want to run through one last piece on this, okay, just to illustrate the principle. Okay, let's say I was to buy everything in the funnel. Okay, everything in the funnel. If I was to buy every single thing inside of the funnel, check this out. Okay, this first page right here, so $32 plus the $19 for the bump, plus the $69, plus the $297, plus the $14.97. Okay, that means if I was to buy every single thing inside of this funnel, I would spend $1,914. Okay, I would spend. So I call it the max like cart value. Okay, if someone's to buy everything, I don't know if there's another term for it. I just kind of what I call it. Okay, max cart value. Now the pattern that I've noticed. Oh crap. Okay, the pattern that I've noticed is that whatever the max cart value is, okay, $1,914, it usually will be, I've seen my average cart value be as high as a third of the max cart value, but that's not too often. Usually I'd say, like, check this out, right? Like we've got, what I'm saying is this is a lot more engineerable than most people realize. So if I know that my ads to acquire a customer, let's say I know that my cost per acquisition is like, let's say not like a t-shirt company here, but like, let's say my cost per acquisition for, or the standard cost per acquisition of an industry. Let's take SaaS, for example, okay? The SaaS, the software industry, okay? The software industry, a lot of times, $100 to $250 just for a trial. That's not abnormal. Okay, so if I knew like, oh my gosh, I need to be able to fund $100 to $250 just to acquire a trial, my max cart value better be like 10 times that amount. You see that? So I have $113 average cart value. Oops, sorry. $113 average cart value divided by the 1914. Yeah. So it's 5% of that. So I need to, does that make sense? Okay. All I'm trying to give you guys an example of is like, when you understand, like one way to approach this game is to know, hey, this is how much money I make on average when somebody comes through my funnel. The other way to approach it though is to say, in fact, the other thing to consider is how much typically somebody in your industry is spending to acquire a customer. And then just try to get your max cart value as high as you can to give you the best shot at acquiring that customer for free. And if that did not make sense, go rewatch that. Because that is a powerful, powerful principle. And that's what I started realizing. I was like, well, on all these funnels, like, usually I'm just looking at the average cart value. How can I get that really, really massive? But now that I look at like the max cart value, like, oh man, I need to add another upsell in here that's like, what would be worth like $500? Yeah. Let's put a $497. Now, what is worth way more than $497? So $497 is an obvious choice. But what that does is boost my max cart value, which will increase my average cart value. That will help get me above my cost to acquire. And that relationship between those numbers right there is one of the things I'm looking at a lot now when I'm developing a lot of these funnels. And it doesn't matter if it's e-com. Doesn't matter if it's info. Doesn't matter if it's high ticket stuff. Doesn't matter if you collect the actual money online or offline. If you're trying to get leads, a lot of people get leads like this. This is not what they actually sell, but they get the leads this way. Something else is paying for the leads and you're liquidating all of it. And then you're collecting all the cash on the back. Anyway, I'm getting maybe too... I can feel there's not enough story in this episode, but what I'm hoping it's done is it's walked you guys through a little bit more of my brain when I'm starting to design funnels. I have 6 funnels on deck right now, and they're big ones. They're hard ones. They're challenging funnels to go think through and put all together and everything, right? And I'm excited for them, but this is what I'm looking at, right? Okay. How can I spend the most to acquire a customer? I want to be able to spend more money profitably than all my competition to acquire a lead. Not only am I awesome at fulfilling on it, my offers are amazing, right? They're good. I'm the offer guy, okay? But if I can speak louder and be amazing, that's huge. Some people be like, oh, Steven, I'm not going to speak louder because my product's so good. Be both, right? I'm going to speak crazy awesomely loud, which y'all know I can, right? And I'm going to be able to spend more money to acquire a customer than everybody else because I understand very simple parts of these principles. So go in and start thinking through that, okay? Do you actually know your cost to acquire a customer right now? Do you know your average cart value? What's the most amount of money somebody could spend in a buying session, right? And can you increase that top? Can you increase that ceiling? Watch your average cart value increase as you increase that ceiling, right? And anyways, that's the game. And it's once you realize that, you're like, snap. Now I got this huge list of people, right? Boom. I got this huge list of people who are buyers. And you go dump all of this $13,000 in revenue back into, well, first fulfillment for the t-shirts and all that stuff, but back into ads. Or in this case, we're dumping it into OfferMind to make it even cooler, okay? That's all it was. It's not so we can take profit. It's so that I can go dump it into cooler, bigger projects. Exactly the same principle. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, I actually would love a review. If you guys could go to sjlreview.com, Stephen Joseph Larsen, sjlreview.com, and let me know. That would be awesome. Be honest. If it's brutal, be brutal, okay? But go through, if you wouldn't mind, and leave me a review, and go do this in your business, okay? Go figure out, are you leaving more cash on the table? Number 2, start thinking about these principles. And when you start looking at it, you're like, oh my gosh, this game is not as much about guessing and getting lucky as I thought. And I remember when I realized that myself as well. Guys, we'll see you on the next episode, and we'll see you at OfferMind. Bye.
Boom. If you're just starting out, you're probably studying a lot. That's good. You're probably geeking out on all the strategies also, right? That's also good. But the hardest part is figuring out what the market wants to buy and how you should sell it to them, right? That's also what I struggled with for a while until I learned the formula. So I created a special mastermind called an OfferMind to get you on track with the right offer and, more importantly, the right sales script to get it off the ground and sell it. Want to come? There's small groups on purpose so I can answer your direct questions in person for 2 straight days. You can hold your spot by going to offermind.com. Again, that's offermind.com.